Something look. I was reading recently in some book I got recently, um, that was to do with like wealth and stuff about like money and how it's like a social thing and how it is only anything to humans, kind of, and like how it's for perceived value. And I just wanted to log that so I can intellectualize my thoughts about it, so I can sort of integrate or learn or whatever. So I guess it's interesting to think about how it's social and so psychological because it's about perception and value. So if apparently with money it's a matter of like if you perceive value your way, then you want to like reimburse that value to like the vendor or whatever with money because you perceive the value. And I guess that's chill because in terms of perception it's like I guess value is very in the moment and it's like whatever's appealing at the time, I guess, and probably the best salespeople know that, I guess. Kind of like how you can say anything really and how you can start from anywhere and just pathway your way to the goals that you want for an outcome in terms of the result of an interaction, like a business interaction, or like with goal setting as well. So this book I got yesterday was called Afformations, like the book of Afformations. It's like affirmation, but apparently the etymology of like affirmation comes from like to make firm in mind. And so the kind of concept of the book of an affirmation is like an affirmation, but it's for programming beliefs directly. And apparently you can do that with asking why questions. And I've been testing it out since learning about it yesterday, and it works pretty well. It's like an auto suggestion. It is an auto suggestion in the form of a question, and the author reckons that your mind thinks in this way, like a search, ask question and then search for the answer kind of way of functioning. And it makes sense because of how the brain works in terms of psychological priming and things like pattern matching, and how, in an abstract sense, there are many patterns that exist, and there's some repetition and recursion and stuff. And so it makes sense that your mind is evolved to navigate through a reality that consists of patterns and things like that, and that's why it's so good at pattern matching. And so to utilize that sort of hunter-gatherer type uh, functionality of a mind or a brain or like the whole thing, like you as a human being, like it makes sense to ask questions in order to direct and guide your attention in a metacognizant way, given that I do believe that we have memory and things can be invoked neurologically in terms of like activating different parts of the brain, like in terms of schema through linguistics, you know, which is how authors can tell such compelling stories through their use of linguistics. And like probably why Milton Erickson was a great conversational hypnotist and hypnotherapist. Um, so yeah, these affirmations are great for programming your beliefs, your ways of thinking, and like NLP and hypnotherapy schools of thought, they can program your beliefs and it influences what you think is possible, and therefore your actions and the way you interface with the world, like in a rippling outward way. And so it's a good idea, I guess, to use affirmations to really iron out what is important to you in terms of like goal setting and things like that. And it really helps you to firstly like identify your dream life and sort of describe it by asking questions with the desired outcome, like why am I so wealthy, why do I have a PhD? It's like just that simple. But hypnosis suggests that your mind at the time the perceived reality is what's in your mind's eye, like your imagination and your what you're experiencing like viscerally as a biological organism, and however compelling that is or however strong your emotional charge towards your life experience at the time, that's probably like related to value as well. So yeah, using affirmations to set goals makes sense, and setting goals as well is really good. And basically, the idea is that it's not like magic or hocus pocus, like magical thinking. It's a way to prime your pattern matching brain, and an important ingredient to success in this equation is putting in the action required to get results. And it makes sense what you're doing with affirmations, how it like makes you more receptive to opportunities and more primed psychologically, um, to take action when necessary in order to get desirable outcomes or results. And this makes sense because you're that's basically what affirmations are. They're priming yourself and you're programming your beliefs, which is basically your like loaded config if you were a computer, you know. And I feel like this is basically hypnotherapy, and it makes sense. I had the thought that it was basically like NLP as well, in terms of how you can use quotes to embed suggestions, and you can ask questions to embed suggestions. It's basically that. They're like applied explicitly to auto suggestion in particular, and how basically it makes me think about the idea of NLP being an evolution of hypnotherapy and hypnosis, or just hypnosis rather, because I guess hypnotherapy includes NLP really. Because with NLP, it's like an advancement of just the hard facts and the observed phenomenon in terms of outcomes. So you can sort of just abstract the key important parts and apply it to a new sort of algorithm or paradigm, like a framework. And so I feel like in NLP terms, you're sort of just like a hacker kind of bypassing the mind's defenses for something, I guess, metaphorically speaking at least, in order to just like get to the fertile soil of your subconscious and plant things there. Otherwise, it's sort of like automated in terms of defense, in terms of protecting your, I guess, maybe not vulnerable, but probably vulnerable. Actually, I'd say vulnerable as well as very fertile, like grounds in your subconscious mind, in terms of planting auto suggestions and having them shape your neurology, because that's basically what's happening when you're programming your beliefs. You're perpetuating patterns of neurophysiological behavior and activity that's essential or just implicitly inherent in the vitalistic way of being a human being, so to speak. So basically, I'll probably upload this to YouTube, and hypnotherapy is awesome. Hopefully, I can get a good hypnotherapy office space in Browns Bay for my hip hop hypnotherapy business, HypNottahz. Like, ain't nothing wrong, just hip hop all day long. And, it's just hypnosis, kind of, so to speak. But not just, because NLP and framing and what do you mean by just? Like, why are you belittling it? But actually, that's an important part of NLP as well. With HypNottahz, I just want to like take an educational approach to mindfulness-based hypnotherapy and auto hypnosis. So basically, just chilling and chatting about reality and hypnosis and all that entails in terms of philosophy and cognition plus perception and techniques as well, in order to establish plus maintain and perpetuate states of happy psychological functioning plus flourishing easily, naturally, and automatically as well, using the various hypnotic techniques that I know about and make use of in my life. And I like to make money that way. And yeah, about 30K a month for an office space, like if you're lucky. I don't know how in demand those office spaces are, but like, I don't know, to make like 60 or 90K a month, I'd need to be charging like 1.25K for a hypnotherapy session. And that'd let me have a really relaxed lifestyle. But that's like pretty premium. But I guess there's a lot of people out these days with a bit of money that aren't super healthy. And so maybe there's a demand for it. No. Anyways, peace. That's it. That's it. I guess HypNottahz and Husru, the hustler crew that trust you not to do seedy shit and undertones, like, I guess those businesses are like, I forgot where I was going with this, but oh yeah, I guess Husru and HypNottahz are sub businesses of V1Z, and I guess it's because they align philosophically and they're like just different ways of my organization to interface with society. And so basically, my philosophy with business is that like you want to have it be virtuous and based on sound philosophy. And my kind of mission in life and mission in business, I guess, as well, is to maximize the amount of good I can bring into existence. And so it's sort of logical to me. It is logical to me to make businesses so as to facilitate that as much as possible, like beyond my agency as a human being, sort of like how ink is, like the faintest ink is stronger than the sharpest memory kind of stuff. But yeah, anyways, I'll probably leave that log there and upload it to YouTube because hashtag content. Peace.